अस्सलाम वालेकुम एवरीवन। आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे चैप्टर नंबर 16 बिजनेस मार्केट्स एंड बाइंग बिहेवियर। व्हाट इज़ बिजनेस मार्केटिंग? द बिजनेस मार्केटिंग comprises all the organization that buy goods and services for use in the production of other products and services that are sold, rented or supplied to others. It also includes retailing and wholesaling firms that acquire goods for the purpose of reselling or renting them to others at a profit. In the business buying process, business buyer determine which product and services their organization need to purchase and then find, evaluate, and choose among alternative suppliers and brand. Companies that sell to other business organizations must do their best to understand business marketing and business markets and business buyer behavior. Characteristics of business markets. In some way, business markets are similar to consumer market. Both involve people who assume buying roles and make purchase decision to satisfy needs. However, business market differs in many ways from consumer market. The main difference are in the market structure and demand, the nature of the buy unit, and the types of decision and the decision process involved. Business markets also have their own characteristic. In some way they are similar to consumer market, but in other way they are very different. The main difference include market. Number one, market structure and demand. Business market typically deals with far fewer but far larger buyer. There are more geographically concreted. Business market have derived demand. Business demand that alternative comes from or derives from the demand for consumer goods. Many business marketing have inelastic demands, that is total demand. How many business product is not affected much by price change, especially in the short run. A drop in the price of leather will not cause shoes manufacturer to buy much more leather unless it result in lower shoes price, that in turn will increase consumer demand for shoes. Finally, business marketing have more influencing demand for many business goods and services tend to change more and more quality than the demand for consumer goods and services does. A small percentage increase in consumer demand can cause large increase in business demand. Sometimes a rise of only 10% in consumer demand can cause as much as a 200% rise in business demand during the next period. Natures of the buying unit compared with consumer purchases. A business purchase usually involves more decision participate and a more professional purchasing effort. Often business buying is done by trained purchasing agents who spend their working lives learning how to make better buy decisions. Buying committees made up of technical experts and top management are common in the buying of major goods. Companies are putting their best and brightest people on procurement patrol. Therefore, business marketers must have well-trained salespeople to deal with well-trained buyers. Types of a decision and the decision process. By business buyer usually face more complex buying decision than do consumer buyer. Purchases often involve large sums of money, complex technical and economic considerations, and interactions among many people at many level of buyers organization. Because the purchases are more complex, business buyers may take longer to make their decision. The business buying process tend to be more formalized than the consumer buying process. Large business purchases usually call for detailed product specification, written purchase order, carefully supplier search, and formal approval. The buying firms might even preparing policy manual that detail the purchase process. Business buyer behavior. The model in figure suggests four questions about business buyer behavior. What buying decision do business buyer make? Who participates in the buying process? Who are the major influence on buyers? How do business buyer make their buying decisions? a model a model of business buyer behavior. At the most basic level, marketer want to know how business buyer will respond to various marketing stimuli. Figures show a model of business buyer behavior. In this model, marketing and other stimuli affect the buying organization and produce certain buyer responses. As with consumer buying, the marketer stimuli for business buying consists of four pieces: product, price, place, and promotion. Other stimuli include major force in the environment, economics, technological, political, cultural, and competitive. These stimuli enter the organization and are turned into buyer responses. Product or services: choose supplier, choose order quantities, and deliver services. And payment terms. In order to design good marketing mix strategies, the marketer must understand what happens within the organization to turn stimuli into the purchase responses. Continues within the organization. Buying activity consists of two major parts: the buying center, made up of all the people involved in the buying decision, and the buying decision process. The model show that the buying center and the buying decision process are influenced by the internal organization, interpersonal and individual factor, as well as by external environment factors. Major types of buying situation. There are three major types of buying situation. At one extreme is the straight rebuy, which is a fairly routine decision, and at the other example is the new tax, which may call for through research. In the middle is the modified rebuy, which requires some research. In straight rebuy, and the buyer reorders something without any modification. It is usually handled on a routine basis by the purchases department. Based on past buying satisfaction, the buyer simply chooses from the various supplier on its list. In supplier try to maintain product and service qualities. In a modified rebuy, the buyer want to modify product specification, price, terms, or supplier. The modified rebuy usually involve more decision participate than the straight rebuy. In supplier may become nervous and feels pressured to put their best foot forward to protect an account or out. Suppliers may see the modified rebuy situation as an opportunity to make a better offer and gain new business. Participate in the business buying process. User are member of the organization who will use the product or services. In many cases, user initiate the buying process and help define product specification. Influencers often helps define specification and also provide information for evaluating alternative. Technical personnel are particularly important. Influence buyer have formal authority to select the supplier and arrange terms of purchase. Buyer may help shape product specification, but their major role is in selecting vendors and negotiating in more complex purchases. Buyer might include high-level officer participate in the negotiations. Decider have formal or informal power to select or approve the final price. In routine buying, the buyers are often the decider or at least the approve. A major influence or business buying by wire environmental or economic development, supplier condition, technological change, political and negotiation. Organization में objective, policies, procedure, organization structure. Interpersonal में authority, status, empathy. Individual में age, education, job, personality, rights and attitudes. Okay, Allah Hafiz.